Well, my mother was born in Washington, as was my father. My grandfather, I believe, was born in slavery, or technically, he was not aware of it, that he was a slave, because he was pretty close to the emancipation. As you probably know, we are about to celebrate the Emancipation Day in the District of Columbia, which preceded the Emancipation Proclamation that Lincoln issued in 1863, I believe, January, around that time. My father was a truck driver, and he worked out in Northeast at the market out there next to Gallaudet College.
What kind of education did he have?
He went, I believe he went to about the 8th grade. He did not finish high school.
And your mother, how much education?
My mother finished high school. My grandmother insisted upon that. And my grandfather bought our house on Q Street, 1305 Q. And I believe they closed, maybe a few months before he died. But one of his ambitions that his father and mother had instilled in him, own property, own a house. You can take care of your family. You can grow chickens, you can get a cow, or whatever, that you'd have a place for them. You'd have a place for your family if they needed to have a shelter.
That was very unusual for to be able to own property and to work and save and organize your life so that you could actually buy a home.
It was very difficult to get a mortgage. The old saying that people that banks loan money to really don't need money, and the ones that need the money can't qualify. And I think it's pretty much something like that. But we paid a little over $2,000 for the house. The family had lived there for several years and had rented. And that, of course, was the happiest day of my grandfather's life, when he was able to buy that house. As it turned out, we had one aunt older than my mother, and then of course my father. But I had two other aunts and a uncle who were, I'd say, adopted. They were, what do you call it, wards of the state. And after they reached 16 or whatever it was, then they were still part of the family. I consider them as aunts and uncles and so forth. And all of them did graduate from high school. And that was the thing that my aunt thought was, and my grandmother thought was very important. Finish high school.